Okay, so this is what I want in a man. The first thing that I'm going to talk about are where are you located? Let's do that first. Or I guess it doesn't matter what order you watch these in. Location, 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 right? So I read an article recently that says men have trouble with long distance relationships, and I can see where that would be a problem. I can. I mean, it can be hard if you cannot be physically close with your loved one all the time. But there's a lot of people that do it, and they do it well, and they do it right. They don't just go and cheat just because the other person's not there. So, in my opinion, if we are the match, the one, you are the one for me and I am the one for you, I think that we will have such a connection, that we'll have such a love, and that it will be so much that in reality, where we are at this particular moment in time, like right this minute, is not going to matter that much. Now, some things do matter. Some things do matter. If you are not allowed to travel, if you can't travel, if you are scared to travel, if you don't have the funds to travel, that might be a problem. Probably not for me, if that's the case. And I'm not saying that you have to be some big money bags and that you're going to be coming to see me all the time and everything like that. No, all of that is negotiable. All of that's negotiable. Like, taking turns going to see each other, finding the good deals, and, there's tons of ways to travel, and that, you don't have to be the world's richest person to have this relationship. For most cases, that's the facts. But, being physically close is important to me. I'm not saying I never want to be physically close to you, but here are some things. We live in a world right now that's probably the smallest it's ever been. I'm saying that we have these pocket computers, the one that I'm using right now to record this video on, that we can video chat, we can see each other, we can speak to each other in real time, and we can hang out, and you can actually have a date night hours away from each other where you watch the same thing and you're on the phone at the same time, especially video chats. Like, you can look over and stare at that person. They don't know it because they're engrossed in the movie, and you can just look at them, and, or you can look in each other's eyes and still say those things. And yes, touch is important. I'm not saying it's not, and I'm not saying I never want to touch the person that I'm going to be with. I'm just saying that right now, I have two little kids. I mean, they're 9 years old and 12 years old. And for the next few years, well, who even knows what happens tomorrow? All I know is that right now, I get them for 1 week at a time. Every other week, for a week at a time. And during that week at a time that I have them, I want to see them. I want to spend time with them. And they're not able to move with me, and I don't necessarily want to move them away from their father. I mean, it's their father. And whether he and I could get along and have a great relationship or not, he should still be allowed to have that relationship with his kids, as long as, it's a healthy relationship, and I don't want to take that away. And I can't move them. So for 2 weeks a month, I will be here in Kentucky with my children. And if you can't be with me during those 2 weeks a month because of jobs or your children or whatever obligations that you have, that's fine. Stay where you're at. We can communicate with each other and still connect through the communication and texts and video chats and talking and how's your day and the end of the day and all that stuff. So where you physically are right at this moment isn't necessarily the deal breaker of the relationship. If we're supposed to be together, if we're meant to be together, if we really have chemistry on all the other levels, and if you're like me, you've been looking for that for so long that I think once you find it, why would you mess that up? Like, why? Over something temporary. I want to spend the rest of my life with someone. I want to spend the rest of my life with someone, not just the next few months or the next year or two. And I don't know about you, but I plan on living to be at least 114, 119. I know it sounds weird, but technology, it could happen. I'm just saying. I plan on spending a lot more years living. And so a few years where we aren't together 100% of the time. I mean, people go to work all the time. They're not with their spouse 100% of the time. They're just not. Like, very few people get that opportunity, although I wouldn't mind it. But very few people get that opportunity. So, you know, if we're not right next to each other and we can't be together all the time right now, in a few years, it'll be so much, you know, it'll be all the time. It won't be as big a deal. So in order to do that, you also have to be very faithful and loyal, and you have to trust me, and I have to trust you. You have to be worthy of being trusted, and you have to be able to trust me that nothing will happen, that you have to be able to be secure in knowing that when I love you, I only love you and no one else, and no one else could change that, and no one else could break that. And I have to also understand that it doesn't matter who's walking down the street. You only have eyes for me. And if you can do that, because I can do that, then the distance doesn't matter. How many people do you know that get cheated on or cheat on their significant other, and they live in the same house, let alone the same city, the same house, and they still cheat? So distance, physical distance, doesn't mean automatically that somebody's going to cheat. It doesn't mean it at all. Physical distance isn't the determining factor. The determining factor is the connection that you feel with that person. That connection. That's what matters. So I don't really care where you live. If we connect and we are good and you're the one for me, then everything else will work out. Okay, that's all for that. Like and share. Help me find my match. Please share this, like it, see me on Facebook, post it on Twitter, follow my Instagram. Thanks. Bye.